Right, I'm taking a break from the journal. Not that you're aware of that. I don't even know why I'm saying that. Let's start again. Hi, it's Jamie from Journaling with Jamie. I'm taking a break from making the brown envelope journal. I have actually done the cover and videoed that, but I haven't totally finished the cover. Anyway, irrelevant. I am going to be doing, because it's only just been posted, Roxy's weekly challenge from Roxy Creations channel. It will be linked in the description below. Now, she set the challenge of doing journal tags on a garden theme. And for someone who does a lot of Victoriana or loves Victoriana, guess what I don't have? I don't have gardening theme kind of tags or cutouts or butterflies or flowers. I know. This is because I'm using old scrapbooking stock. So all of that presumably has been used in the past. What I did find, which kind of followed the directions a little bit, was I found loads of Oriental stuff, which I think was from China. Certainly some of it was from when I lived in China. I've done a little bit of cutting out of a few things that definitely were from China, a museum in China. These cards, they cost me the grand total of 80p, and I've had them 15 years and never done anything with them, so it's about time I did. Now, she had some tissue paper that she printed on. Well, my printer currently isn't working, and I've yet to Google how to fix that. But what I did have, and the only thing I had that was vaguely see-through, was this vellum, which was the Oriental, which is what threw me into let's do Oriental themed gardens then as journal tags. So that's what I'm going to be doing, but I am going to basically follow what she did. You have 45 minutes to make as many as you can. Now, last week, the first time I ever did this challenge, I managed to make one thing rather impressively, or not, depending on how you look at it. Just get the little thing that I always use for gluing. So she used some old book pages as the base, and the first thing she did was just glue them together in half to the size that she wanted. So that's what we're going to do. Rachel used a Pritt stick, so I will do the same. I do actually have some PVA, but I thought, well, just follow the challenge as it's done. My Pritt stick, of course, ends up lumpy. Hers, some reason, doesn't. Maybe I press too hard. I'm not quite sure, but she does give it a good, generous amount. So maybe if I don't press so hard, but do it more. Lots of sound effects there. And the aim is obviously to try and get as few air bubbles as possible, which, as anybody who has been watching this knows, I struggle with. I always end up with wrinkles and air bubbles, but I'm a beginner. This is only week 2, I think, of me doing this sort of thing. So I'm assuming at some point I will improve. Right, that's one done. I will be optimistic like I was last week and make quite a few for the base, because in my 40, and hopefully I'll get more than one thing done in the 45 minutes. This is what we're going to hope for. Of course, whether I achieve that or not is another thing, but we will aim to get more than one done. The idea is, with these challenges, I think, to challenge you to, well, you don't have to think if it's already set, garden theme, but also, and the sort of things like use old book pages, make sure that the first thing you put on top of them is something you can see through, that type of thing. So it does save you having to think. But the other idea is that you build up a stock of stuff so that you can use them in your journals. So I will have to do an Oriental theme junk journal, which won't be difficult because I do actually have quite a lot of Oriental stuff. What I'm surprised at is what I seem to have a ridiculous amount of isn't papers but cardstock. Now, I know I used to do card making and scrapbooking like 15 years ago, so maybe that's why. So I lack papers, but I have a lot of cardstock. But of course, for a lot of these collages and things, it's too heavy, it's too thick. So, I mean, I could use it as the base, but I didn't want to be using some of my spare cardstock when she used old book pages, because I thought, well, the whole point of a challenge surely is to try and do the challenge, even though I'm having to go off theme and do Oriental gardens rather than European Victoriana kind of gardens, or I would say Victoriana, but some of it goes back to Georgian in design, I think. But generally, junk journals are more Victoriana than anything else, with the lace and the little cherubs and the use of butterflies and flowers and things. Think Diary of an Edwardian Lady. That was a very popular book with certain people when I was growing up because of the illustrations. Think that sort of thing. If you know it, that'll give you an idea. What else has been happening? Well, I've de-stressed now from my email charade earlier, which you'll find out about on the video that I'm going to post after this, so that will make no sense to you whatsoever, but no doubt the next response will get me stressed again. But we'll get there. We will get there. I will finally get to an answer. It just shouldn't take 3 weeks of constant backwards and forwards. Ooh, that's a bit sticky. How many have I made? 5. I think she made 5 as well. Not sure. So I'm going to stop at that and not be overly ambitious. And then what she did was she took her, from what I can remember, she took her see-through bits and laid those on first and glued those on first. So these are some of my see-through bits. I've got loads actually in this pile to my left, which you probably can't see. They're probably not on camera. But what I'm going to do, because this is rather handily already in squares, so speed me up a bit, I can just cut where the squares already are. Now, I'm not sure whether with vellum I can use Pritt Stick or whether that's going to show through, but we will find out. Normally, I would use like a PVA or a Fabri-Tac. Let's just try and get that border a bit even. There's shabby chic, and then there's going to annoy my OCD. Not that I've got OCD. Well, I have sort of. I like things organized. I don't consider it OCD to have all your spices labelled up in the same style jars. I just think it's more a sort of, it looks nice like that. And I haven't had, that is the first time I've done that in 25 years, to have a spice area that actually, to have my kitchen labelled up and looking amazing. I think I might cut the border off completely, because, or I could just trim down this. I might just do that actually. So I'm going to glue this on and then trim away some of this excess, so it's more or less the same size creamy coloured border to this. And let's just see, that's, it'll be that way up. At least try and get the, I think that's a heron, the right way up. Right, let's just see what happens if we use Pritt Stick. Yes, I just named a brand. Can I have some sponsorship money now? Come on, Pritt Stick, send me some Pritt Sticks. Right, so what I'm going to do is, she was doing it that way so that the writing was the right way up. If I do it that way, this isn't going to fit beautifully, whereas if I do it that way and have the writing the wrong way, it will fit. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to have the writing the wrong way, because, ooh, don't go down yet. See, this is why it ends up taking me 45 minutes just to do one, because I can't glue straight. I can't do things quickly. Look, I've hacked that up completely. It's not in the same place at all. Never mind, we are going to do collaging, so I will collage something over this mistake. So there you go, there's the advantage of adding a bit of extra collage. Right, I'm just going to cut some of this edge off. It's not sticking down too well on that edge either, so I'm going to have to attack that. But it does look like Pritt Stick. Didn't cut that straight either. See, this is the problem with getting older. My eyesight isn't what it used to be. I'm going to blame my eyesight now, but it isn't. And if I'm sitting away from it so that my head isn't in shot, or hopefully isn't in shot, it's harder for me to see what on earth I've just done, which is not cut straight at all. Okay, we may not be having a cream border, because by the time I cut this straight, I will have cut off the border. But that's okay. More deliberate mistakes. All part of the process. You have a border anyway, because there's a border on this. Not that I've managed to get that the right aligned either. Look, it's slightly over on this side and then slightly under over here. We'll get there. And then you have got a sort of border here. Sort of. Oh well. It will be fine. I'm not going to fuss too much over, although I must learn to glue up to the edges, because otherwise they come away. I do normally glue up to it. Normally I put too much glue on and end up like I am now, a sticky mess. Right, that's one done. Woohoo! Well, one front. So the idea is that you can sort of see the writing below it. Well, you sort of can, just. It's not super thin, maybe a less busy pattern. You'll be able to see the writing below it. I'm just going to turn that over, because I've already made it sticky. Let's get another one then. Should we have the writing going the right way this time? No, basically. No, let's not. Let's get this one. Let's get the next one. Ooh, more bits of scrap appearing. See, all I seem to do is create more and more of a mess. Right, let's forget the whole idea about trying to keep a border and just cut it so that it doesn't have one. That way, I'm not trying to line up to, well, I am still trying to line up, but I'm not trying to line up something that's white and see-through on something that's just off-white, because I don't think my poor older eyes can cope with the differential anymore. How's everyone else's eyesight? Is anyone suddenly suffering from bad eyes? I think mine got really, really bad on turning 50. I mean, they'd never been perfect, but they've been manageable until I turned 50. And that's when my eyesight decided to go rapidly downhill. I'm sorry if my microphone wire is in this. I will try to edit it so that it's not. So I'll try and come close up. I'm actually wearing my dressing gown, not because it's that late, but because the weather has totally turned from baking hot and sunny to like we're on the verge of winter suddenly. It's not just dull, it's gone cold. Like the heating is back on. I'm not one of these that refuses to put their heating on after a certain date and just freeze. I mean, sod that. What is the point of having heating if you're going to refuse to put it on when it gets cold just because it's June? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. If you've got heating and you're cold, put the heating on. I mean, yes, you could put a jumper on, admittedly. And I've kind of do both because I suffer from the cold a lot as well. Funny thing is, a few 15, 16 years ago, I used to live in a 15th century house, which was permanently cold. But I suppose I just wore jumpers all the time, or I just didn't notice it. And I know that after my divorce, and obviously I couldn't keep the house any longer after that. Well, I could have done, but because the law is such that I could have stayed, but I didn't. my mum was going, oh, thank God for that. That house was always so cold when I visited. Well, her house is like a sauna. So, you know, she can walk around in a t-shirt in January, which, even though I'm very generous with my heating, I think is a little daft. You know, it is January. One does expect in the UK to be wearing jumpers in January. I don't expect to be going into someone's house wishing I'd worn a t-shirt that day. Her house is impossibly hot in the winter. Everyone goes, oh, you love the heat. Why don't you appreciate it? I think because I'm wearing a jumper. It's like when you go Christmas shopping. Not that I go Christmas shopping to the shops anymore, but when I used to. And you're wearing your big coat and your jumpers and everything like that because it's cold out. And then you walk in the shop and they've got their temperature whacked up high, which I'm sure is nice for the staff. But when you're wearing several layers of clothing, within a few minutes, you are boiling. I mean, absolutely boiling and sweating. And you should not be sweating in December unless you live in Australia and you're in the height of their summer. At which point you wouldn't be wandering around your shop in a jumper, presumably, and a big coat. Which way round? That way round, that way up. Rachel actually lives in Italy. From what I can tell on her channel, she lives in Italy, speaks Italian, has a daughter who's teens, and a husband who plays electric guitar. Anyway, she's Aussie, but she looks like, from what she said, she's lived in Italy years. I think her husband is Italian. So I'm not quite sure where she lives. I think she lives in the countryside, but close enough to the coast, because she does seem to go to the beach sometimes. So within driving distance, presumably, which sounds very nice, admittedly. A bit like when I eventually, in a couple of years' time, get to Portugal, and I will be right next to the coast in a fishing village, but only 3 kilometres from a decent sized town. So to me, best of both worlds. In an oldie worldy village, but close enough to supermarkets that admittedly don't stock that much international stuff, but you know, your Aldi's. But near the beach, you get a little I think I may have mentioned this, but you get a little chug boat to the beach from the sort of pier. I suppose we'd call it a pier. It's not really a pier. Little jetty from the jetty in the village, and it's €1 each way. I mean, how cute is that? And then at the beach you've got this tiny little, well, the local one, the town one, the big town has a bigger beach. Well, not a bigger beach, but a bigger amount of restaurants and sunbeds and things on the beach. But the little village one has one kiosk on the beach that sells like sandwiches and wine, and that is about it. And there are some sunbeds, but generally people seem to take their own stuff over. I think there must be some loos, and that is it. But the town one, Tavira town, the beach you still have to take their ferry. They've got a couple, I think, but they've got a beach that's got like 5 or 6 restaurants on it. You know, lots of sunbeds. Just a bigger setup. So what I think they are is, I think they're like islands, kind of like just off the river, but on the sea. I know that sounds odd. I couldn't really work it out, to be honest, as to how it worked, because you'd think, well, big sandbanks then, but the fishing village is definitely on a river, definitely, and this is just over from the river, so I'm not quite sure. Anyway, this is a part of Portugal that isn't the Algarve. Well, it is the Algarve, but it's the Eastern Algarve, so it's going towards the Spanish border, so it's a little bit cheaper to buy or rent there, but it's not as dramatically beautiful as Western Algarve. You know, none of the little coves and sandy beaches. this is flatter. Right, that is 3 made. I'm just seeing how much time I've got. I've used about 20 minutes of my 45, so I'm going to go for it and do 4. I won't get 5 done, I know that already. And also I've got 4 of these panels, so it makes sense to do 4. Then I've got to cover the back with something, and then I can get on and try not to push as hard, but get as much glue on these. Then I can get on with the actual design, which is the bit that I debate and ah a little bit over, because I'm never quite sure. I don't know why I'm doing this, because I can't cut, I can't glue, I can't sew, and I'm not that great at collage. So I'm not quite sure what the point is, apart from I like arty stuff. I used to want to be an actress when I was growing up. I think that's the right way up. Do you think it's the other way? Have I just put the flowers at the bottom and they should be at the top? No, because the signature's there. I used to want to be an actress. So I was always into arty stuff, but I was never an artist. I was always rubbish at art at school. And not very good at sewing, rubbish at sewing, even worse at sewing than I was at art, and I wasn't very good at art. The only thing I could do was cook. I was quite a good cook, and I could play tennis. And I was quite good at beach volleyball for some reason. And then subject-wise, I was good at English, lit, and history. Basically, that was it. And therefore, anything sort of similar, like to me, politics, religion are all very similar in the sense of essay writing and learning, you know, so I was okay at those as well. I wouldn't say I was vastly interested in them, but I was, you know, I found them easy. And my aim at school was always to find things easy. Just do the subjects I find easy. I don't do subjects for the sake of it, you know, and have to struggle. I was never one that wanted to work things out. I'm sure I could have been better at maths than I actually was, but it would have meant effort. Same with languages, really. I was okay at them, and I could learn the vocab and the verbs and string it all together correctly, but to speak it beautifully was an effort. Not really into effort. If something is effortless, like cooking for me is a bit effortless, then I'm happy. Right, we're going to stick with those, but that one I might do later. Now we've got to do the back. Seems a bit of a shame to do the back. Now, they're meant to be journaling cards, and I noticed that Rachel put fancy paper on, whereas normally with journaling cards, I just put some plain tea dye on. But I'm going to follow the challenge. These are lifting quite a bit. I might go in there with a bit of PVA on a brush. I probably just didn't use enough glue, or I'm not giving them long enough. But she actually used papers, so I will do the same, like pattern papers. So it's just a question of finding something that I think will go vaguely. These are all sort of greeny, aren't they? Greeny and yellowy in my scraps that will back this. Greeny and yellowy. So I've got a bright green. You can't see this because I'm off camera. Certain the ones I don't want to use because they're going to be too nice to use, if that makes sense. They're ones that you'd want to use to make book covers or something with, and they're the right colour shades. I'm just flicking now off camera, which is very exciting for anyone watching. You see, that is actually, I think, part of this greeny yellowy. So I've got a Christmassy one that's beige-ish. I wonder if I can get away with a checkerboard. What do you think? Do you think a checkerboard backing would be okay, even though it's not in the theme? Because you're not really going to... Well, I suppose you are going to see them to write on them. I'm just wondering, does that look okay? I can't spend forever debating the backing. Let me try see if I can find anything else. But I don't have time under this time challenge to spend forever debating the backing of these. So it's going to have to be make a decision quickly. I mean, I've got some Moroccan stuff, but that seems a bit bright. And I've got some plainish green. But again, that would make quite a nice inside. Now I'm going to go with this because I don't particularly, I wouldn't use it on anything else. Let me not cut through. You see, this I would use in journaling. So I don't, as in a journal cover or the inside cover of a journal or a big piece of journaling, not the back of a card. So let me just crack on, because I have to crack on, basically. I must not spend too long making decisions, because I do want to get more than one done this time. Right, so let's just try and get plenty of glue on. I don't want this side lifting, and I don't want the air bubbles. See, I'm speeding up even the gluing now, because I'm aware that I'm halfway through my time. I'm looking, what I did last week, and it worked for me, was I've got the challenge on again on my iPad, but with the sound down. So I can see, well, I can't see because I'd have to look over, but I know roughly by just glancing how much time is left on the video, and therefore how much time I've got. So I know it's about halfway through the challenge time. I'm just going to see if this helps to get this glued down. I don't know how people use Pritt Stick so much. I probably should have gone with PVA glue, but it does take longer to dry. So if you're on a time challenge, I suppose that wouldn't be a good thing. Right, let's trim that one down. I'm sure that's lifting there. I am sure all my scissors are getting a bit ruined by constantly cutting through glue, like slightly wet glue. If I see something lifting, I am going to repair it as I go along. Trim that up. It's like, crafting is meant to be relaxing, and I was stressed enough today. Well, I let myself get stressed by people's incompetence. I could stop myself being stressed by such things. And now that I'm on a time challenge, I'm feeling stressed again. And I had, this is still lifting. I don't want to play with it too much. I'm going to go back in with something to get that to stay down. Like, have I got time to hit it with some PVA? Probably, maybe do that after. Let's do that after. I don't know if the challenge is complete if you go back and fiddle afterwards though. Just to, look, it's that bit there. Let me just pull at it slightly. Probably going to ruin it. And get some more. I keep putting more and more glue on this bit, and it keeps not doing what I want it to do, which is stay down. But it is, these papers are 15 years old, so I'm probably, and they're quite stiff, and I'm gluing them onto something thin, so I'm sure there's a reason. It's not lack of glue at this point. Right, look at my nice wobbly line there. Right, that is now sticky. Let's hope the inside is dried. Yes. Let's just see how this one's... I think this one's stuck down better. Yeah, that one's better. Right, same backing then. Then I don't have to debate backings. So just cut that out. Speed, speed, speedy. Let's be speedy. Oh, is anyone else feeling the pressure? I'm feeling the pressure. I can't remember which way up this was. Looks like that way. Doesn't really matter because I'm putting checks on the back. So why am I worrying about it? Right, let's get some decent amount of glue on this baby. Ooh. I feel like I could take out shares in any glue manufacturer at the moment. The amount of glue I've been using since I've started doing this, and that's only in 2 weeks. Heaven only knows what all these people who've been doing it years get through in glue. They must get through tons. In 2 weeks, I feel like I am responsible for the share price of glue going up. See, this gives me a bit of welly, this. Who'd have thought crafting involves having to have a bit of welly behind things? I'm knocking the camera probably because I keep knocking the microphone wire. Sorry, guys. Oops, not quite lined up properly there. See, I can't even line things up properly. Do I deserve to be trying to craft on a YouTube channel? Possibly not. Oh, I now want to cough. Excuse me. I've got a microphone right next to that as well, sorry. I wonder if I can edit in a little bit of ooh. Oh yeah, just go for it. Oh no, is that the... To make sure I don't cut the wrong thing, because I've got folds here, haven't I? Where I've folded things over. Looks like I've cut through a fold. What an idiot. Have I cut through a fold? Yes, I have. I think. I'm not sure. Let's just peel that back and shove some glue in there. Oh, I'm treating it so rough. I'm so much more gentle when I do my own, and I'm not doing it under pressure. Oh, my battery's going low on my iPad. Better not turn off. It's my timer. Right, how many have I managed to do so far? 2. Have I managed to only back 2? Do I stop? Because I'm like 3/4 of the way through the time. Do I stop at backing 2 and start to decorate the 2 that I've backed, or do I carry on the kind of magical assumption that somehow I'm going to get 4 done? I think I need a new piece of that for a start, so let's grab a new bit of paper that's, well, it's not new, it's just been, let's do some decorating just in case, because we don't want the whole 45-minute video just me gluing a bit of paper to a bit of paper. Well, I'm still gluing a bit of paper to a bit of paper, but now I'm going to try and do something a bit more exciting with them. So what, right, okay, we've got 2 that are backed. Let's go with those 2. Okay, so what Rachel, just check those are the ones that are backed. Yeah, so what Rachel did was she did include some of the... That one's the one that's glued. I've got one that's ripped. She included some of the print that was underneath on the collage. So I'm going to rip just a little bit, because that's all she included, a little bit. Actually, I don't want it too bumpily ripped. I know that sounds bizarre, but I want it ripped, but I don't want it. I want it sort of vaguely straight. Yeah? Am I making sense there? I think I am. So she only used a little bit on each one, so I will do the same. I'm not copying her design, obviously, because mine's Oriental. I'm just kind of taking some of her design notes. And then I think I got distracted and stopped. I don't want to say stop watching, because that sounds rude. I didn't stop watching, I just got distracted. So now I'm just going to get some pieces and lay them up. I cut out these little figures earlier. And I think Mr. has a fan. Yeah, I couldn't fussy cut. This is on cardstock, so it's really hard to fussy cut round. And then I have actually got these little metal pieces, which would be quite good. I need the Fabri-Tac for that, but that's okay. To like hold that down with. Oh yeah, I like that. Right, so that's the first thing. Let's get this on, and then I'm gonna get some really, really strong glue on the metal pieces. I've got smaller ones, but I quite like those. I think they're meant to be like, I don't quite know what they're meant to be, but what they're going to be is on here. That's what's going to happen. So I'm going to shove that up there. Oh, should have left enough space for the fanny thing, or whatever it is. Coin. Right, that's down now, so I haven't got much choice. Fabri-Tac, have I got some? Or do I need tacky? I've got some of this. This is a mess because it exploded on me yesterday. So it needs a new container, and it is absolutely everywhere, this stuff. Let me just grab a brush that I don't particularly like and just give that a good wodge of stuff and do the same. Ooh, it's got different things on different sides. Let's go dragons. So let's just get some on here. I'm hoping this is going to act a bit like super glue, because I think it needs to work. Now what I want is it just in that corner there. Oh, how cool is that? How cool is that? If that works, if that holds, that is awesome. I like that. Right, let's get little man on. I'm not really sure what else I'm going to do with this, so might as well get little man on, and might as well use this really, really strong glue on him as well. Hopefully it's not gluing my fingers together. Actually, I should do him on here, and then it will take me less time, because I won't mind if I go over the edges. I'm trying to be careful not to get it on the card, and I could just be doing it on the glue paper. Other people use old book pages, but the reason I use kitchen paper, greaseproof paper, parchment paper is because it doesn't stick to it. So where do I want him? I think there. Now, because I couldn't fussy cut round him very easily, his attaching thing is separate. Now, did he have the fan, or did he have a... Ooh, who had the fan? I think he had the fans. This one had the... I think he had the dragony thing. Hold on. There's two little bits that I ended up cutting off. One of which I can't get hold of now. Got it. Does this look like the right colours? Ooh, I think so. Oh, I need my little pincery things. There's a hair here, and it's, I don't know what it, I've got short hair, so God knows what that's from. Right, It's probably from the glue, actually. I don't even know if it's hair. I think it could just be. Let's hope this was his. Oh, it looks like it might be because there's a hand in that. There's a hand. You've got your hand back. And then I think this is the bit that also went with it. Looks like it does. Which is like a dragon. Yeah, it's the glue. It's not a hair. The glue is actually like got like little hairs. It's creating little hairs. I don't know. I've never used this glue before, but it's weird. It means that you can glue fabric to paper and things. Because a lot of these crafters sew, but I don't sew. I'm no good at sewing. I don't have a sewing machine, so I can't do... I could do hand stitching, but no, I can't. No, I tried it the other day through paper. It's so difficult. I can hand stitch material, but hand stitching through paper, ouch. Was not getting that right at all. Oh, that looks really cool. Does it need anything else though? Or is that enough? A little bit of print. I should have inked this up darker. Where's my ink pads? I wonder if that's completely dried out or if there's just enough to take it down without all the little glue hairs on here, without it ruining everything else. There we go. It's not quite so bright now. Everything I do ends up being like very dark brown in the end. Like darker than most people would ink stain things, but that has taken the edge off that a bit. Wish I'd done that earlier, admittedly, or used some tea stain stuff, because that's looking a bit... and his face is white anyway, so I probably shouldn't have worried about it. Does it need anything else on there to... like, I've got some bamboo that's lighter, or is that, or some brickwork? I don't know what brickwork's got to do with like china. Does it need any other decoration? Someone help me out here. Does it need anything else? I've got some fans, some globes. That's all. No, it's not vellum. That's, well, it might be. No, I don't think that's see-through. It's just shiny. Shiny, shiny, bad times behind me. Or something like that. Does it need anything else? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like everything's up here. And maybe something here, but maybe not. Maybe it's overdoing it, because I do tend to overdo it. I mean, is that enough, or should it have something here? I feel it should have something here, maybe, not over here. So this stays, but this has something. But what can this have that's not going to cause me too much time delay? I think it's going to have to be a bit of bamboo. I think it will have to be. And it's going to be the lighter bamboo, because that is easy to get to. Don't even know if, I doubt I'm even doing that on camera, thinking about it. Can't really see what I'm doing. Just in my panic. So I could even, he's lifted slightly, shove that under him, slightly over the words. And then maybe rip the edge, do you reckon? Like rip it? Oh, don't think it's going to rip. Oh, it will do, but it'll rip that way. So I could sort of tuck it under him that way. Ooh. And then do the other edges need ripping? Probably. Probably. If I've ripped one, then I really should rip the others, shouldn't I? Oh, I've got that lumpy thing going on that I don't like. See, this is how to make one piece of paper get rapidly smaller to the point where it no longer does what you want it to do. So I could just kind of tuck it under him like that and then line it. Yeah, I like that. That'll do. That'll do. Pritt stick. Instant decision. Look at that. Oh, my fingers. I need a childminder or something to look after me, because I just make so much mess when I do this. Oh, it's sticky all over. I want to stick this down without getting nasty gluey bits on it. You know, when the glue kind of gets all grotty from my fingers. And then make sure this guy's stuck down, because I really shouldn't have been able. Now, has that worked? Ooh, kinda. We're going to say it has worked, even if it hasn't. Now that I don't dislike. I don't dislike it. I'm not mad about it, but it's okay. Probably should have ink stained this a little bit maybe, but too late now. Hadn't thought of it. And actually everything else is quite dull and dingy, so maybe having a bit of brightness there is okay. Maybe. Right, where's the other one that's been backed? Somewhere. I have another person who, I can't remember. This one doesn't seem to have anything. He just sort of ends in a dragon. That's okay then. I don't have to sort of start sticking multiple bits together. But I think I should do it differently this time. I think, first of all, get the ink pad and ink this. How am I doing on time? I think I've got 10 minutes. Right, this is the Espresso Truffle. Tim Holtz Distress Ink. I think, oh no, this is Memento. Ooh, I said the wrong brand. Maybe I should have got the pinky one out to pick up on that. Oh, it is a bit pink though. Don't really have a red. Look at the state of me. Okay, that's quite dark. But then if I'm sticking him over it, like that. See, I want to put him over there, because to me, everything always goes over to that corner, but I don't want to do the same thing. Because I don't want to do the same thing, so I'm not going to. I'm going to get the Pritt stick out and try not to get all the scraps in it. And get this glued down. Right, okay. And get that. Oh, I was going to go lower, wasn't I? Okay. Rescued that. See, can't even remember what I was supposed to be doing. I laid it up and then I went somewhere completely different. And then I'm going to have him. Oh yeah, because then he's sort of, oh, actually you could go even higher, couldn't we? So the dragon goes off, and then, yeah, because maybe like that, maybe less words. I don't want him dead central in the words. I know that sounds a bit weird, but sort of a third. It's something about threes and art, I seem to remember, and composition. You never put anything in the centre. I remember doing this oil painting in Shanghai and ended up with a tree in the centre of the oil painting and ended up having to paint it out. So a painting that was basically finished, I suddenly realised, oh no, there's a tree right in the centre of the picture, and there shouldn't be. He looks like he's walking on air. Well, he is. Maybe I should have had him walking on the ground. Oh well. I've got one more guy. I haven't got another card done with the back of it, but I've got one more guy that I could put on and make sure he does walk on the ground. That might be an option. Does this need something else? Probably, but what? We have some symbols here which are going to be quite quick to cut out. I'm thinking also time-wise, this is the issue. So I've got these symbols and I could go... So it's like a little ship. I don't know why. Again, it's still sort of Chinesey or whatever. I hope I'm not insulting the Chinese culture by calling something Japanese Chinese. I'm assuming this is Chinese because I live there. But that probably needs to go on something to stand out. Like a bit of, like a plain something. And then we could have the other one literally sort of in alignment. But I think they need another thing. Another thing. It needs something that's sort of greeny but plainish. Have I got anything greeny but plain? I've got blue. No. Greeny but plain. Of course, I've got every colour but greeny plain that's going to fit. I've got a bamboo-y thing. Again, it's see-through though. It's vellum. It's not really plain, is it? Oh, unless I go up here, I might be able to do it if we have just a little bit of leaf. I know it seems a shame to use this. It really does. But needs must. See, I'm thinking put that on that one, roughly, like that. Maybe I can't line them up because it means measuring them to be the same kind of size. Does that make a difference? I think it does. I mean, unfortunately, it's also see-through. I could have just wasted that because I should have maybe got something plain. No, we're going to go with it. Go with it. I haven't got time. Maybe I'll be better at collage because I don't have time to think about it. Maybe this is going to be the secret to my collage success, is that if I don't have time to think about placement and cutting things perfectly, I will do a better job. Maybe. Or maybe not. Who knows? How am I doing time-wise? Oh, I've got 5 minutes, I reckon. That looks like 5 minutes. It'll be enough to finish this one. Won't be enough to do the next one. So I'll have got 2, which is double what I got last week, which I suppose is pretty good because I just finished off camera. So I've got 5, so I will make 5. It's just that I will only get 2 done on video. Look at the state of my fingers. I will also wash my hands before I make any more because otherwise I will wreck them. Now, should I do this, try to line it up? I don't think they're the same width or size at all. Or should I do it somewhere else just to be a bit more random? I think I need to go random with it because I'm never going to get them exactly the same size. That's partly the reason. And so I think I need to put this in a different position, like over here, so it's not trying to be the same. Ooh. Oh, as usual, not enough glue on this corner. Though why not? I don't know, because I think it's because it's all... No, not that stuff. God, if that sticks on my desk, I'm done for. I think it's because it's that vellumy stuff. And then this one... Oh, I've got 5 minutes still. I'm winning. Well, I'm not really, because I was going to try and get 4 done. 4 or 5. Ooh, don't put the fish on upside down. The koi. I'm assuming koi. And stick that one down. Please stick down. Vaguely, centrally, vaguely, just vaguely will do. And ooh, what's that? Bit of glue. Damn. Let's get that off. And that, guess what? Needs more glue. Really? Could swear I'm gluing these up enough. Well, I did manage to do it without wrinkles and air bubbles. I suppose that's something. Oh, she says, seeing an air bubble under that one. That was famous last words, wasn't it? I've put lines in the design. Oh well. Slight air bubble. Oh, and stickiness on the back side. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Right. So in time, I've managed to get 2 done, but I don't like this. I want something here, I think. This is too big a space. It needs a something. It needs a something. I don't know if it needs another person. Ooh. Maybe it just needs another person. Yeah. Yeah. And I've got time to do another person. Yeah, let's do 2 people. Let's have a parade. That's what we're going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do on the others because I've used all my people, but never mind. Let's have another person. Slightly lower. This one can be kind of there because this one's got a big fan. Hopefully the big fan will fit, given that he's got a friend. Might have to put the big fan slightly on wrong, or lay it over matey's ear. I don't even think that's on camera. I'm just trying to avoid my sticky paper here. Maybe the big fan, or maybe don't put the big fan on. Maybe just leave it at that. Yeah, leave it at that. Leave it at that. Don't put the big fan on because the big fan's just going to get in the way. 2 people, that rescued that. Definitely. Definitely rescued that with the 2 people idea. Love it. Love it. So finally done something with my Oriental papers and vellums that I think is garden themed, Rachel, because you've got birds and trees and plants and things. It's just Oriental garden theme, and it's got the see-throughness and you can see the words through. So I think I have, in my own fashion, followed the challenge. I've only got 2 done in the time, but I have done the challenge, and you can journal on the back of them because although it's check paper and doesn't really go with Oriental theme, it's easy to write on that. So I have 2 journaling cards. All I might do, doubt it actually, because this one's chunky and heavy already, is put a tag on so they can pull up from a pocket. But I might just do them as a flip in a journal, you know, just attach them as a flip, put some washi or something, or tape or something, so you can so they're like a page in themselves. But yeah, challenge accepted, done. Quite proud of those 2. I'm going to do the other 3 off camera. Awesome. Anyway, next video will be me doing the cover for the brown envelope journal. This was just like a quick interruption so that I could do the challenge. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment, because, you know, I get all of 3 to 8 views per video, which is a little sad. Thanks a lot, guys. And next time it will be something different again.